guys, it's Liz again. This time I am here to show you guys a little bit more of a natural eye look. I know last time I did something a little bit more dramatic. I definitely wanted you guys to see how that comfort zone palette translated into a smoky eye. But I know that sometimes that doesn't work for every occasion. I mean, sometimes you have to go to a wedding, maybe you're in a wedding, maybe you have an event to go to, and you really want your makeup to just look subtle but still polished and done. So I created this look, and I hope this would be helpful to you guys as far as just creating something that you can do. Again, all the products that I'm using are less than $10. Woo! Okay, so I just want to begin. All I have is moisturizer on my face. That's it. So I want to get started with my Revlon Color Stay Foundation. This stuff is really well hyped up. Everybody seems to love it. I made a boo-boo in that I accidentally got it one shade too light. So I'm going to fix that and remedy that situation by putting on a little bit darker of a powder to set my makeup. But for right now, you know, it'll be fine for a powder. All I'm going to do is just put a few little pumps worth on my arm here. I'm going to take my mop brush, mop that up, and then just kind of lightly add it in. And remember, this is, you know, it's not a full coverage foundation, but you can always add on, but it's really hard to take off. So just kind of add it in little by little. And as you guys can see, I can't even believe that there exists such a foundation that is actually paler than my skin, but it's true. Wow. Casper the Friendly Liz. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not going to do concealer or anything like that for today, just because it is approaching summertime. I don't like a whole lot of stuff sitting on my face. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that concealer or that foundation with this Revlon Photo Ready powder. Again, one of those items that you got to look for the coupe in order to make it under $10, but it's definitely feasible, especially if you shop at like Walmart or Target. Walmart typically sells it for like $10.99, but they give out dollar off Revlon coupes all the time in the Sunday paper. So check those out, you guys. One thing I want to add is that I am applying my powder with a sponge. I used to be one of the biggest rule breakers of this of all time, but a lot of professional makeup artists now are really scolding you for applying your makeup with one of these guys, a brush. I used to apply mine like that all the time, but I am trying to do a little bit better with that now because they're saying, no, don't. A powder brush is actually designed to knock off your foundation, so it's basically just undoing what you already did. So that's a big no-no. So I just take my sponge, I kind of curl my pointer finger around the sponge and just like pat it in. Okay, so that's that. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and apply my bronzer. Now, another tip that I picked up while doing this is I used to do bronzer horribly awry too. One trick that I found is that you're supposed to apply bronzer like a number 3 around your face, just like that. So all the places that you would typically get sun anyways, and it just gives you a little bit more of a sun-kissed look. So I have an e.l.f. powder brush here. Just one of those flathead guys, and I'm just going to dip that in my Rimmel bronzer. It's underneath the shade Sun Queen. And as you guys can see, it's just giving me a little bit more coloring. So I've gone ahead and gotten my bronzer done now. Next step that I'm going to use is my blush. I'm going to use that in my Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. Again, it's supposed to be a high-end dupe for like a NARS brand. I don't know. I just thought it was a really pretty color, and then I bought it, looked it up on like Makeup Alley or something, and saw that it was a dupe. So using my blush, and I'm just going to go ahead and right where the roundest part of the cheek is, I'm going to apply it here and straight up. Just a few swipes will get you because it is a pretty pigmented blush. Okay, you guys, so in order to prime my eyelids, I'm actually doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be using my NYX eyeshadow base in white instead of my e.l.f. eyelid primer. I do love that stuff, but this is just going to make my eyeshadow a little bit brighter. So I'm just going to kind of dip my finger around in this and then just put it on the eyelid all over. Same over here. Make sure that you got a good covering there. Okay, so the next palette that I'm going to be using is my Walking on Eggshells Wet n Wild packet. I know that I used that last time too, but I'm going to be using it kind of in a different way today. So this is something a little different for me. I'm just going to take my e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. I'm going to dip this into my eyelid color here. It's kind of a pinkish color. It is supposed to duplicate a color from the Urban Decay palette. Again, I just thought it was really pretty. But you can definitely use this palette in a lot of different ways. So I'm just going to tap that on. And you do want to make sure that it's all over the eyelid. Okay, and once you feel like you've got a good covering, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take this middle color, this crease color here. It's kind of like a goldy brown. And I'm going to use the same brush that I already used before by just kind of cleaning it right there on my hand and going ahead and applying it. And then I'm going to be putting it diagonally and sweeping it across in this pattern. Diagonal, sweep across. Diagonal, sweep across. Just like that. So pat, pat, pat diagonally and sweep across. And same over here. You should be starting to see a little bit of a V. And in order to make that a little bit more dramatic, I'm going to go ahead and sweep over to my Comfort Zone palette, the same one that I used in my old tutorial. And basically all I'm going to do is take this color right here on the pink side. It's the brown down toward, it's like the second to the last brown. And I'm going to take my definer brush on the other end of that fluffy brush that I typically use, this one right here. I'm going to use my definer brush, something that you've got a little bit more movement with. And I'm going to dip it in this golden brown right here, just like one shade deeper. Tap it off, and I'm going to go ahead and just redefine that. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my angled fluffy brush here, just blend the colors all in together until I'm happy with the way that everything's looking, and then add my highlight color. So I'm just going to kind of blend them all in. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come back into my Comfort Zone palette. A lot of people use a white as a highlighter. I do love the white, but sometimes it's a little bit more if I'm trying to go for like a warmer look or something to that effect. So I like to use this buttery color here at the top on my Comfort Zone palette. I just tap it off. I apply a little bit right here underneath the brow. And kind of use my finger to smooth it out. I apply a little bit right here. And then I apply some right here in the tear ducts. So the eyeliner that I have chosen to use in this look is this Mega Liner from Wet n Wild. It doesn't have a color on it. It says 868. It's like a black brown. And the reason that I like it is because when you open it up, it has a tiny little applicator. It just looks like this. It's kind of like a little paintbrush. And it's so thin that you can put it really close to your eyelid or your eyelashes, and nobody will ever be the wiser. So I love this. I'm just going to apply it. The next thing I like to do, just to make it look a little bit more polished, is I go ahead, I take my LA Colors eye color pencil, in black brown, and I just put a little bit from like the arch of my eyebrow all the way to the end. I just fill them in just a little bit and then brush them out just to make them look a little more polished, just like this. Okay, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, mascara my lashes. I use my Volume Flash Scandalized Rimmel Mascara. It is in black, 001. A lot of people don't like this mascara. It's caught a lot of flack on YouTube, but it's fine by me. I think the reason most people don't like it is because it's got this ginormo brush. I mean, look at this thing. The King Kong of all mascara brushes. So, and you guys know about my mascara face. I apologize in advance. Very favorite thing to do is just to go ahead and if I'm going to an event, I want to throw on a pair of falsies. So I love my falsies, love, love. Now, because we're talking about just a regular event here, maybe like a wedding or something, you definitely don't want to be like too much. So the way that I achieve this look is I've taken my Broadway pair of lashes, just the same old Broadway pair. You can buy them at the Dollar General for $1.50 for a pair. These ones, as you can see, are really, really dramatic. So I just take them right in the middle. I give them a little snip. I then go ahead, I take some eyelash glue, like this, lash grip, and I go ahead, I just put like a dot or two on my palm, like that. I've taken just a regular craft store brush, just like this. It's like a cheapo. It came in like a pack for I think like $3. And I just basically use my eyeliner as a guide. So I just kind of like tap that on. Ooh, a little bit too much. Gotta tap it off. Then I take my little half of an eyelash here and I just stick it right onto the glue. So now as you guys can see, both of my lashes are on. I'm just going to go ahead and throw on a coat of mascara here. Part of my look is just my lips. So I'm just going to go ahead, come down. I use my lip pencil from Rimmel and Tiramisu, and I just line my lips with it. Next thing that I'm going to be using is I do like to use this Wet n Wild lipstick, but the problem with the Wet n Wild lipsticks is that to me the texture is a little bit off. So what I like to use to remedy that for just to get these pretty colors, but to kind of keep myself the trouble of the actual just having to deal with this crazy texture is I just use another brush from that craft store bin that I was talking about that I bought for I think like $5 or maybe $3 or something, and I just add a little bit of color this way. And now I've got my color. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and top my lip gloss off from this L'Oreal Color Riche gloss in Saucy Mauve. Very saucy. So I'm just going to do a little, and that's it. That's the whole look. As you can see, when I'm closing my eye, it's like a lot more neutral looking than the last one because it just had the browns and the golds. And I only added in that half set of falsies, so it's not too crazy. This one is glued a little bit down, so please disregard how wonky it looks. It usually looks a lot better. Like I said, I'm still getting used to this camera, so I am going to get better as time goes by, but it's a pretty look overall. Definitely holds up well if you're going out to like a wedding or a special event, so I would highly recommend this. And like I said, all the products are less than $10, so I hope that helps you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by.